Welp, I finally got to it, the third Storm game in the trilogy. Also, to preface this, I'm talking about full burst here. Considering the impression that Storm 2 left, I was wondering how this game would try to match or top that. And in my opinion, I think it managed to be better than Storm 2. And in this video, I'll explain that and why I think this game is so great. So for regular watchers of my channel who've seen my Storm videos, you already know that the first segment we're going to start off with is...
The fourth great ninja war begins now.
There are a ton of cutscenes and voice acting, which means there's a lot more of the source material that's covered and explained. One small problem of that is that the cutscenes can drag a bit. For example, the cutscene in Chapter 4, The Birth of Naruto, lasts for 35 to 40 minutes, which is way too long if you ask me, but to be fair, they added some extra scenes that aren't even present in the manga. And this part of the game isn't even the only part with extra added scenes, so it shows that they really put in some effort with the story. The open world is a little better than Storm 2, it's not by much, but there are some better camera angles and map layouts. You also have this choice in the story where you can make decisions with characters with legendary or hero actions. This is also the first game where there are multiple POV shots from the perspective of different characters. And the awesome cinematography from the boss fights is still here, which is very impressive because this part of the story focuses on the tailed beasts and they are massive. So overall, the presentation was great throughout and it really shows the amount of effort CC2 put in when they created this game.
The fourth great ninja war begins now.
There's a fair amount added to the battle mechanics in this game. My favorite is personally the added bar for substitutions, which means you don't have to eat up a massive amount of chakra to use them. There's a maximum of 4 that you can use, but you can also gain them back. It makes for another resource that you have to think about using in battle, and it's much more consistent to use than the previous 2 games. Combos feel smoother to execute, as I found it easier to extend them by attacking in the air, which I could never manage to pull off in the other games. The team system is also emphasized a lot more. There's different team stats and synergies, and I also forgot to mention in the last video that there's 3 different assist types, all of which are in this game. Boss battles are also still here. I'd say they're not as good as Storm 2's, but they're still good overall. Although some boss fights here can be said to be more technically impressive because there are giant tailed beasts that you can fight. Mob fights are introduced and they're super cool. I love the use of the open world and integrating it with the combat system. It was a great new addition. There's also a new stage mechanic with ring outs where part of a stage as you're fighting can crack when you're knocked into it. It looks like if Whitebeard himself just cracked the stage. After about 3 hits or so, the characters go flying out of the stage and it looks pretty funny when it happens.
The fourth great ninja war begins now.
The roster has everyone you'd expect, like all the relevant reanimations, the 5 Kage, Madara, and multiple KTM versions of Naruto. And more importantly, there's a bunch of returning characters from the past versions of Storm games. There are also characters in Storm 1 that are purely assists, like the Kage assistants. And finally, Zabuza and Haku are now playable since Storm 1 didn't include them. And just like Storm 2, not every character can be collected just by playing the story. But the same method from Storm 2 still works here, just grind out Rio. You just need 1,600,000 in total and you'll have everyone. This game also has the most amount of stages, with its own stages and stages from previous games, and it has 40 in total.
The fourth great ninja war begins now.
The story stretches from the 5 Kage Summit up until the first half of the 4th Great Ninja War. One thing about this game is that it puts a lot of focus on Minato and Kushina. So much focus that I had to double check the manga to see if they added new content, and as I addressed before, they did. And given the amount of cutscenes and voice acting in the game, it's almost comparable to watching the anime, so they did a really good job with this. The only problem is that the game ends awkwardly because it's only halfway through the arc.
The fourth great ninja war begins now.
Overall, out of the trilogy of games, this one has the best gameplay, the best cutscenes, and the best roster. Personally, out of the 3, I find this one to be the best overall option. So now I've covered the trilogy of Storm games. I originally got it because I had already finished Storm 4 and Connections a while ago, so I wanted to round it out. I'm very thankful for those who watch and enjoy my gaming videos, and to show that I can do something that sort of ventures outside of what I normally cover. And with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed watching and stick around for the next video. It's been That Boring Guy, and I'm out.